We had a ball and ate a bunch of turkey and had a good time with some old buddies of ours, which was really a lot of fun. So anyway, that was the seat that is Mr. Roach is putting on the speed bump special. But now we're going to go back to more Mr. Roach and finish up Mr. Roach because he's working on the tank.
On the fuel tank.
On that fuel tank. And let me tell you about that fuel tank. The gas tank was a find, says Mr. Roach. I know I wanted a stretch tank, so I searched eBay for a couple of weeks, and this eventually turned up. It appeared to be a prototype and was unfinished. The rear was drawn to a sharp point and was unwelded. Go ahead and show this first shot of this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, only Mr. Roach would buy something from somebody that they'd welded and they'd screwed it up, and he fixed it.
That's not a fuel tank there. That's a double-sided funnel right there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so... It was unwelded. Someone had tried to run a bead on the side and burned through it. There were no frame mounts or holes for gas caps or petcocks. I scored it for $50. That's cheap. I have no idea who built it, and I have never seen one like it. So let's go to the next shot. Go ahead. And there we go. We're starting to get the strapping out. A flush mount gas cap and brazed it in, cut a petcock out of a crushed fat bob tank and welded that on the bottom. The tank mount I'm not all that happy with. It tends to break and rattle with the vibrations. I wanted the mount completely hidden and could not put one in the rear without elevating the rear part of the tank above the frame. Now, I realize if I could cut I realized I probably could if I cut the bottom completely out of the tank and mount sealed inserts in it. Don't want to put that much effort into it, but you never know. I know what he's going to do. He's going to bounce around with this thing for a while. Well, he's going to spend the time on it,
Okay, now let me add my 2 cents worth here.
Yeah.
The thing that concerned me right out of the box when he started talking about, somebody had tried to run a bead on there, tried to weld on this fuel tank.
Yeah.
And blew holes in it.
Yeah.
Okay? The thing that concerned me right away was the gauge of steel that's been used to make this tank. Number 2, now, and I think Little John will bear me out on this.
Yeah.
And anybody else in the chat room that knows welding and knows steel, that any idiot that isn't running the box right, you can blow holes in almost anything. Little John, tell me if I'm right. But if you're blowing holes in something like this that you're trying to put together, it seems to me that it's going to be a little weak and your mounts are going to crack. Now, the only thing I would say to you, if you're going to go with this tank, is find a way to shock mount it.
Yeah,
mount it on a rubber donut. Do something. Now, I had the same thing, Captain America. I don't mean to keep interrupting you.
No, go ahead.
The gas tank for Captain America was a result of a 2-year search. Okay. I found the fuel tank, tested it. Everything was airtight. I put it all together. It was great. I had it painted. This thing here was great. And within about probably 2,000 miles, rear mounting tab broke off of it. Or front mounting tab. And it just the vibration. And I didn't have any kind of shock mounting on it or anything. So if you can, I'm telling you, brother, if you can, try to shock mount this fuel tank.
Let me ask you, what about using those those rubber mount bolts that they used to use for oil tanks and stuff like that, where it's like that big rounded piece of rubber and then there's
you could do that.
Could you use those?
You could do that if you can find a way to make them work.
Yeah.
Anything will work. I mean, you can use the rubber donuts and the ferrules that go in them that we mount flat side fat bombs.
Right.
So there's a lot of ways to do it, but I would look into doing that to ensure that you don't just keep busting this thing up and having to re-weld it.
Right. Now, the sleeve picture, then we don't have the picture of the sleeve, was welded into the frame with the bolt welded into the strap. I set the height with empty 46 cases I had with shovel heads bolted on top of them and tacked the strap. Yeah, we saw that. Remember, we were looking at it going, what the hell motor is that? Cool. Yeah. I welded the inside. I welded it inside the tunnel and trimmed the strap back to the weld, and I think we got a final picture of this this whole deal. There he is welding it right there. That's the final welding process, and I think the last picture actually shows there it is, all done. And you can see the strapping has been taken off. The thing I would be worried about too is that he's used just kind of regular strapping in there.
Yeah,
it's welded in place.
Yeah, get yourself something with a little bit more ass to it.
I would think what would happen is that thing kind of move a little bit like this with that strapping kind of.
Well, and that's why it's going to crack and break.
Yeah. I didn't much like the point on the back of the tank, so I rounded it and filled it up with weld. Weld up the other holes, fill it with tank seal, add a Pingle high flow, man after my own heart, and there you go.
And you're in business.
I get about 2 usable gallons out of it, so it ain't bad. And that is Mr. Roach.
Which is about what I get out of
there it is underneath there's a shot of it underneath the the bike. There it is, resting before he cut the rest of the strapping off. You can see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that looks a little hillbilly there. But,
well, sometimes,
it looks like, anyway.
Well, he cut the straps off.
2 usable gallons. That's about what I get out of Captain America, is about 2 usable gallons.
Right. And now how long does that get you down the road on a pan, though?
60 miles.
60 miles. You got to stop every 60
I've gone 60, 65 miles. I didn't push it much further than that. I'll bet the motorcycle probably gets 40, 45 miles a gallon.
Well, it ain't about mileage, but the deal is that, you got to know how. I mean, if there are places you can ride that don't have 60 miles between gas. I mean, what are you going to do about that? You
plan ahead.
Plan ahead. Bring a milk jug filled with gasoline. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So anyway, thank you, Mr. Roach, for
absolutely. Nice piece of work.
Great stuff coming in. We're looking forward to seeing more of the Speed Bump special. You got to send us. More of that stuff. That's what's going on with.
Keep us advised on the seat too. The seat's good.
The seat's cool. I knew you'd like that stuff. Let's pop that old 4-minute motorcycle one more time.
Let's do it again.
And we'll be right back with Sporty India. In a minute. Any second now.
Check out our viewers' creativity in a segment we like to call 4-Minute Motorcycle. 4-Minute Motorcycle.
Now, I love this. This is a Sporty NDR is a user of the garage and is watches Kickstart on a fairly regular basis. I believe he's in the chat room with us tonight. He put up pictures of some of his bikes, his old bike and his new bike. Go ahead and put this shot up and we'll read this. Hey, I'm Andy. I'm 23 and in December of 2008 I accomplished a dream and got myself a Harley 883R converted to 1200 and have been happy as hell ever since. That's it. Man, a few words, man.
Andy, I think you're in need of intervention.
No. Look what he's riding before, man. This is him and his old Honda.
You should have stopped.
That's his Honda. No. What? If you got a choice between now this could spark a debate. If you got a choice between like an old Honda and a Sportster, I'll take the Sportster any day, man.
It depends.
It depends. All right, here we go. There's the bike. There it is. Put it up, man. There's his pride.
It is fodder for getting money to buy a big twin, though. I got to give it that.
There you go.
If I got the Sportster, I could sell it.
Let's see. Sporty Ann says, if I'm not here, I'm on one. Big Elvis says,
where you at, Andy?
She's under the table. That's why they are so happy tonight.
Andy, you in Florida or something? Yeah. Where the hell are you, buddy?
It looks like Florida to me, man. That's pretty warm. We got some.
Or you possibly could be in Marin County, California. Is that possible?
Could be California. We got some. Josh says, enough of the seat talk. Where's the girl? Josh says, Warren. Trash, read this now. We want the girl. Little John says, never look under a hillbilly's dress. I guess that has to do with the tank on the,
Yeah, maybe.
And Fat Bob says she's busy. Sporty Editor says, yep. Big Helpless says she's under the table. That's why they are so happy tonight. And Josh says that would explain it. Sporty Editor says, I'm addicted to my bike. And he says, CA, man. He's out in California. He's a California man.
California.
He's a California
man.
Marin
County.
Anyway, go ahead and show the rest of the picture.